Ancient Japan, a dominant influence for religious and architectural contributions. Japan is a land that has created some of the world's most distinctive art, some of the oldest pottery modernity has discovered, the largest wooden architecture that has transcended time, and the world's first novel. Of these, the most important are the Hanawa because of their historical significance and insight into ancient Japanese culture. The Hanawa are terracotta clay figures that were made for ritual use and buried with the dead as funerary objects throughout the history of Japan. The Hanawa portrayed archetypes common to their society and provide important context for the Japanese customs, rituals, and beliefs during that era. It is not uncommon for some Hanawa to be painted with red dye or other colors, and there were various types. Besides the cylindrical Hanawa, another type was the house-shaped Hanawa. Other things that fell into the category of Kisho Hanawa were those shaped like humans, animals, and swords. The details on the Hanawa give information about the elite buried in tombs, as well as valuable knowledge of the tools or other objects people of that time used. The military Hanawa informed archaeologists of the armor and weapons, as well as the status symbols of these military branches. Unfortunately, the depictions of religious and social culture found in the ancient Hanawa figurines is absent from the modern worldview of Japan. Now, the Hanawa hold a more historical significance over a cultural one. For all these invaluable donations to the world, Japan's view on self is not unlike the world's collective view on body image and cultural standards. The ancient Japanese had a dissimilar view on a body image than their more modern descendants. The obvious difference is that the body was not something to be viewed as a physical substance, but rather one that reflects a religious worldview. Karada, the Japanese word for body, includes a portion of another Japanese word, kara, which means empty. These observations of language help propose an aged idea that the ancient Japanese viewed their body as something that wasn't concrete and permanent, but rather something that was ever-changing and constantly in a flow of motion. These depictions of self are unlike the depictions of self-image that come from contemporary Japan. Nowadays, the Japanese strive for perfection in a culture that demands the individual to dedicate themselves to a busybody country of workaholics. Because of this, body image for the men and women of modern Japan are relative to modern culture and gender, creating a diverse depiction of external appearance and physically. Now we'll begin talking about the Japanese modern representation of the human body. For modern men of Japan, work is at the forefront for daily priority. Because of this, most men do not work out due to the time constraints that work and family have on their daily lives. Lazier men are often viewed as being slightly overweight and obese, and the working class, younger men of Japan who are slender are viewed as being productive and contribute towards society. The body image standard for men is also distorted for a more Western worldview. Today, Japanese men are striving for a physical image that represents strength and dominance. Most desired more muscle, just like their American counterparts. However, whereas Americans wanted muscle to increase attractiveness, Japanese men wanted muscle to help their athletic abilities. The younger men of Japan also strive for the aggressive, domineering male image, adopting a more androgynous look with tight fashions and impeccable in grooming. These details create a cultural connection and value towards how men look and how successful they are. In contemporary Japan, women's body image is more scrutinized than their fellow men. Japanese women must typically be slimmer and smaller in stature for them to be viewed as worthy in society. With the average weight of ancient Japanese women being 55 kilograms or 121 pounds, many of these women are considered underweight by BMI standards. These standards have followed contemporary Japanese women, where body size can be considered as tied to self-worth. Just like Japanese men, if one is overweight in Japan, or even just slightly larger than the standard, they are seen as lazy and not driven by Japan's cultural standards. In Japanese media, the concept is pushed that skinny is inherently healthy while other body types are not portrayed. Clothing size are even limited in Japan, and there are not many choices for larger women. This further causes women to feel out of place if they do not fit the cultural ideal for body image.